Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth from Organized Chaos, and I'm going to take you around my classroom really quick. So school starts on Monday, and so I've pretty much got everything set up. I'm going to just insert a few pictures at the end of what I've got outside my door, because there's still a lot of teachers here working to get set up and all that. But for right now, this is the front door where everybody comes in, and you can see I've got a few organizers to help me keep track of what sort of incentives classes have reached, what jobs students are rotating through, which I'll talk about in a second, and the posters that we use school-wide for being quiet and stuff like that. And then I've got the fire emergency over here. I've got my ukuleles, which were new last fall. They came after the school year had started, but that was really fun. I'm going to be using those again with 6th grade. My chord charts, and then this is a lot of stuff for behavior. Each class moves up the piano keys based on how many keys they earn, which I'll show you later how that works. And then each color team, which is based on where they sit. As you can see, they have small groups that they're assigned to. And each team has jobs. And you can find blog posts about all of this stuff on my blog, organizedchaos.com. And I'll try to link those down below. A lot of the posters you see that have these different rainbow patterns are in my store, which you'll also, hopefully I'll remember to link as well. These are the learning objectives. They're just little Dollar Tree picture frames with scrapbook paper stuck inside, and I use those same colors for those grades in everything, so I can keep track and easily find it. And then trash cans, woohoo, piano, and then I've got all of their supplies organized by, again, those color team groups. So they've got markers that we use for, you know, coloring kinds of things, pencils we use a lot, and I've marked those with tape by color as well to make it easier to keep track of who lost one and that kind of thing. And hiding in the back, I've got erasers for dry erase and pencil erasers. Those are the ones that I tend to lose, seem to magically disappear. And then I've got various things over here. I've got a little minion guy. He's going to help me with circles this year. You can read about that on my blog. I've got a little spot here for kids who need a little more individual space when they're working on something or just need a minute to themselves. These are from the, well, that one's from the district. This is mine. These are the solfege hand charts, and these are, this is the system I use, which again, I have a blog post on this. It's kind of an old blog post, but about how kids earn piano keys. So this is a whole school behavior management system, which I'm kind of de-emphasizing gradually. I may eventually get rid of it, but I'm keeping it for now. They start with the word music, and then as you can see, there are little Velcro spots on here. If they, as a whole class, are not doing well and not responding to redirection, I'll remove a letter. If they are doing extraordinarily well at something as a whole group, I add letters, and I keep the letters on my music stand right here in this pocket, and I'll add letters up. If they get the whole thing, it would spell musicality, which is unusual. So with the word music, they get 2 piano keys at the end of class. If they lose letters, but they still have at least 1, they get 1. And then every extra letter they get would be an extra piano key. And then I've got my 3 quote-unquote rules. They're just kind of more like behavior guidelines, I guess. Respect yourself, others, and things. I have done a lot of blog posts on this stand, and I have some student information on here that I don't really want to show you, but these are my seating charts. I have a magnetic kitchen timer because I can't see the wall clock from where I teach most of the time with the older kids, and then I keep a printed schedule on magnets on here as well. And I've got a little stool for when I need to demonstrate and have them mirror something. So excited to have a real smart board, but if you don't have one, do not despair. You can find a tutorial for how to make your own on my blog. That's what I used for a long time. Just if you have a projector, all the additional supplies cost under $50 total. I've got some anchor charts over here, and then folders that I've thumbtacked onto the wall where I keep some different organizational forms that I use a lot. Got another minion and some school supplies in my teacher toolkit. I have my sub tub-ish thing under here. Got a blog post on that, as well as I keep papers that I'm going to be using for lessons or stuff that needs to be filed right there. And then between the windows, I've got some minions. I should show you. This is my view from the front. So we've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I've got extra chairs and stands at the back because the band rehearses in here once a week with another teacher. And I will add, the reason there's a bunch of open space here is because I have my students, when they're learning about the instrument families, make their own posters, and I end up adding them into that space. My whiteboard with some band instruments tucked behind to avoid getting touched too much. I got my stereo system, which I honestly don't use as much anymore because I have speakers with the smart board, but I do use it sometimes if I'm working on this side of the room. My ukulele and a world map. This was from Target. It's dry erase, and it's quite detailed. It's much more detailed than the one I've had before, which I really like. My word wall, I've got a timeline up here, which I really don't reference that much, but it is nice to have. Kids do look at it and comment on it from time to time. I got some Chromebooks on DonorsChoose a few years back, and so I use these for centers, for compositions, and I have a few bass xylophones that I also got on DonorsChoose tucked under there, just because I don't have another good place to put them. I have a little corner here which becomes a reading center. Sometimes I have a lot of music themed books right in here, and magazines and stuff like that. They're all related to music. And I also have, this is part of the district initiative, but it's also a space where kids sometimes will ask to come when they're upset about something and they need to calm down. Kindergarten does not sit in chairs. Everyone else starts usually in chairs, and then obviously if we're doing a circle game or something, we'll come over here. But these are also by the same color groups. So anytime I'm having students move from chairs to the circle, I'll just tell all the red team to find a red spot. So they get a certain amount of choice, but I still have some control over the situation. And then I've got my boom whackers velcroed to the wall of that's my closet. And I have a few posters along the top. The way I organize my shelves, and I have a blog post on this as well, but is I try to put instruments that I want to be most accessible to students on the bottom, and then stuff that I don't want them to access too much along the top. The lap trays right here are new this year. I'll be trying that out as at least another option for the clipboards, which present their own problems. And then I've got a lot of percussion and stuff like that on the floor. I have this tape, which is got Minions on it. I've been kind of stuck on the Minions for a few years. because it's a really good analogy for how I want my students to see themselves in some ways. They're all kind of quirky and strange, and they make a lot of mistakes, but they never give up. They keep trying, and they're like very confident in their weirdness. So I talk to my students about that a lot, and when we line up, I have them line up on this tape before they leave class. And when I'm calling them to attention or whatever, I call out "Minions Assemble," which they all think is hilarious. So here's a quick view of my room from the front door. Hopefully you got a good idea of what my room looks like. And I'm gonna stick a couple of pictures here at the end now of what my space looks like outside this door. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!